Expo City is about to explode in demand. And if you're looking to invest in an apartment right now, there are only two options as of now available in Expo City. The recently launched Expo Valley Views by Expo City developers, and around 3 weeks back launched Emaar Terra Gardens by none other than Emaar developers. Why only these two options? Because all the other options that were launched, be it Cedar, Mangrove, Sky, Alvaha, everything else is sold out. So if you look at these two projects that are available today at Expo City, on the surface they look very similar. Similar price points, similar launch timing, and similar handover timing as well. But when you go deeper, you realize that they are designed for two entirely different outcomes. So in this analysis video, let's break down the details. The location, layouts, the community feel, and the demand profiles. And let's understand which project genuinely creates more value for an investor today. To begin with, as a brief note, Expo City is going to be the future downtown of Dubai. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, the ruler of Dubai himself, is putting so much of emphasis into the city. He went and approved the master plan of Expo City. So he's putting a lot of effort into this city, a lot of focus into this city, and a lot of money into this area. Already 57 billion dirhams have been invested into the total infrastructure of Expo City, including the Dubai Exhibition Center. The World Trade Center is moving there. By the end of next year, the entire World Trade Center would have been almost like a significant chunk of the World Trade Center exhibitions would have been moved into the Dubai Exhibition Center. Lot of corporate offices are relocating and have relocated. Big names including Siemens, DP Worlds, Siemens Energy, Emirates, NG, Live Nation, Fuji, Biobank, and so many other companies, universities have moved with regional headquarters, and certain companies like DP World, their global headquarters is been relocated inside Expo City. Nestle, 67th ranking company in the world, their MENA region's headquarters have been moved into Expo City. So a lot of corporate relocation is happening. As a matter of fact, it is expected that a workforce of 40,000 people will be working in Expo City by 2033 and afterwards. Expo City, when you look at an investment inside Expo City, in terms of ROI perspective, there are two main reasons why an investor would invest. It could be short-term rentals or it could be long-term rentals. Certain investors would want to flip their property somewhere midway, closer to handover or before handover, which is not an advisable strategy in Expo City if you want to invest. The other game is going to be the capital gains, capital appreciation, right? So different properties would fit into different profiles, different properties would serve different purposes. If you look at the properties that we are talking today, if you look at the investment options that we are talking today, let's get into the master plan. Let's understand the location of these two projects and let's set the tone for the video. Now, if you look at the master plan, this is the Expo City master plan. This is where the Emaar Terra Gardens project is, and this was the previous project, Terra Heights, right? We need to discuss these two together because in terms of layout and everything, both projects are like almost identical. So these projects, Terra Gardens and Terra Heights. On this side of Expo City, right on the other corner, you have the project by Expo City, which is Expo Valley Views. Now, if you look at the other projects inside Expo City, you had Al Waha. This one was Al Waha. These two Al Waha 1 and Al Waha 2. This was Sky Residences. This was Mangrove Residences. My bad. This was Cedar Residences, and this was Mangrove Residences. So if you look at these projects, including Terra Gardens and all these projects inside Expo City, they are primarily going to be mostly for short-term rentals. And yes, certain people would live in long-term basis as well. But mostly these projects are going to be for short-term rentals. And in short-term rentals also, if you look at the projects inside Expo City, they are going to get the first preference because short-term rental people are coming because of Expo City, because of what's happening in Expo City, mainly because of the Dubai Exhibition Center, but then all the attractions are inside Expo City, right? So the first priority for short-term rental would be Expo City. Then the second priority would be Terra Gardens by Emaar. If you look at Expo Valley Views, that would probably be the third priority, because for short term they will want to live somewhere close to like inside the hustle and bustle, right? If you look at the Expo Valley Views, this is located in Expo Valley, which is a very calm and quiet, elite upscale community of villas and townhouses, which were launched around 1.5 years ago and has seen massive appreciation already. We'll discuss when we understand the appreciation numbers. We'll discuss those in detail. So if you look at the very outset, because I'll be going into the detail during the video about the layouts, about various other aspects of these two projects. Expo Valley Views, when it comes to apartments, Expo Valley Views is going to be the only project as of now that is going to cater to the long-term residential need of these 40,000 employees working inside Expo City. Of course, 40,000 people will not be able to fit into these apartments. Who out of that, there will be definitely there is going to be demand higher than the available supply for all these projects. First preference is going to be Expo City, then Terra Heights, Terra Gardens. So all these projects, there is going to be demand that is going to far exceed the supply, both for short-term rentals as well as long-term rentals. As a matter of fact, even some of the units in Expo Valley Views are going to go on short-term rentals, because there is seamless transport connectivity from Expo Valley Views to Expo City, which we will discuss later in the video. But predominantly, this is the only apartment project. Expo Valley Views is the only apartment project that's going to cater to the long-term need of people working in Expo City. Because people working in Expo City, they will not want to live in Expo City, because Expo City is too much of hustle and bustle. And you work throughout the day in there, the hustle and bustle, you work there, you will want to live in Expo City, but you will want a calm and quiet space to live, right? The only apartment option available as of now that's being launched is going to be Expo Valley Views. The Expo Valley Views, in that sense, is a very unique aspect compared to the other investment options available in Expo City, right? Okay, so that was a bit of an overview of the two projects, the placement, what's in Expo City. In my previous videos, I have spoken in detail about Expo City, what exactly is inside, what other amenities, facilities and everything, and the connectivity aspect I have spoken in detail. For the purpose of today's video, I'm not going to talk about the connectivity in detail. It's just a comparison between these two projects. If you are interested in an investment, we can discuss all these details in much detail during a call. Now let's go into a table. I have done a bit of a table where I have compared these two projects side by side. I've listed down a few aspects. So we'll go through that table and let's understand a few things. I have listed down a few aspects that are relevant to this location. As I have mentioned in one of my previous videos as well, I usually, when I sit down with an investor, if we are doing a comparison between a few projects, we list down a few aspects, we add on weightages to these aspects, and then we at last we discuss in detail about these aspects. About, like, for example, if it is demand anchors list, well, demand anchors is something that we discuss for every single project, because that is what ultimately determines where your demand is going to come from, right? And we put weightages, and that is how we analyze and finalize investment options in a very analytical manner, right? So first of all, if you look at the demand anchors for Terra Gardens and Expo Valley Views, as I said in the introduction, although these two projects are located inside Expo City, considering the placement, considering the layouts and everything, these two buildings serve a totally different purpose of end users or tenants. Terra Gardens, as I said, is mainly driven by short-term rental demand. One of the main reasons is the placement of the project. It's right next to the Dubai Exhibition Center. There will be some mild demand for long-term rental from people living not in Expo City but around Expo City, working close to Expo City in the Dubai South area. Maybe there will be some short long-term rental from those people. Versus if you go to Expo Valley Views, it's predominantly going to be long-term rental. And yes, as I said during the introduction, since the demand for short-term rental is going to be much higher, much higher than the available supply in the entire Expo City, hence for that reason, some of these units are going to be rented on short-term basis as well, and also because of the transport connectivity, which we will discuss a little later. The other main people wanting to live in these apartments are going to be the employees working inside Expo City. actually they will want to own this apartment at handover, or later they will be more than happy to pay a premium and own these apartments, right? And not only them, there's the Al Maktoum airport right next to the Expo City. So employees, let's say mid-level or senior level employees who have the capability to spend, let's say, 4-5 million dirhams, they will definitely fight over these apartments. They will want to own one of these apartments if they're in fact looking for an apartment in Expo City. Hence, when you look at the demand anchors, Terra Gardens serve short-term rental, Expo Valley Views serve long-term rentals, right? If you look at the location, which we already discussed, but let me briefly go into the detail and explain a few other things as well. So if you understand, this was Terra Gardens and Terra Heights, this was Expo Valley Views, right? So Terra Gardens and Terra Heights is located, if we zoom in further, this is where the core Expo City area, all the events, the Al Wasl Dome, the school, the hospital, everything is going to be inside Expo City. You have the Emaar Mall here, right next to the Terra Gardens project. You have the Emaar Mall. Of course, Emaar Mall is going to be a huge attraction in the entire area, because there's that definitely no doubt the mall is going to be phenomenal. The infrastructure is already ready. Probably the mall will be functional by end of next year or mid 2027. If you look at the connectivity aspect in brief, this is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road and this is Expo Road. So it's very easily, conveniently connected right at the intersection of these two roads. Expo Road will directly connect you to like Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road as well as Sheikh Zayed Road, and from the other side, even Emirates Road as well from this side. So it easily connects to this network, which basically would connect you to every part of UAE, Abu Dhabi, Sharjah, anywhere, and even Al Ain. So it's the connection location wise is at the intersection of these two roads. On the other side, if you look at Expo Valley Views, it is located. So the thing that we need to understand is this particular cluster, which we call Expo Valley. This is going to be something like Emirates Hills. This is going to be the future Emirates Hills, right? Because Expo City is a very major thing, and the most expensive prime real estate in the entire Dubai South is going to be inside Expo City, right? And this Expo Valley Views is the only villa community with that kind of finishing, quality, elevation. It was a very unique concept, right? People back in 2023, when there was not much going on in South, when these mega master plans were not yet announced, back in 2023, people were ready to pay 1,500 dirhams per square foot for a villa and townhouse in this community. That was considered a very high price back then for a villa or townhouse. So people bought that, and they have already seen appreciation, which we'll discuss later. So this apartment project is located in this plot. It belongs to the Expo Valley. It belongs to this elite group of people. Very limited supply, not like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 townhouses. Very limited supply, and even the number of apartments also very limited and exclusive, which we will discuss a little later. So it's located in this, and by default, this is going to create a positive effect on this Expo Valley Views when it comes to appreciation and exclusivity. So this is an added advantage that the Expo Valley Views project would have over the Terra Gardens project, right? Which we will understand in detail, some numbers and everything when we move forward. In terms of connectivity, again, this is Expo Road, E77, and this is Al Yalai Street. So this is also on the intersection of two roads. Al Yalai Street will also connect you to Expo Road and further inwards towards Dubai. And Expo Road, from Expo Road, you can get into Sheikh Zayed Road, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road, right? So that is where this project is located. Now, if you go to the third aspect, layouts, this is a very unique aspect. If you look at the Emaar layouts, we'll go through in detail in a moment. The Terra Gardens layouts are very generic, like it's just like any other Emaar standard project layouts, 1 bed, 2 bed and 3 beds as well. So very generic, and the size is also very commonly available, like one beds are around 750 square foot roughly, two beds are around 1200, somewhere around that, three beds are around 1600, two beds are even less than 1200, which is generic, which is common even like if you look at other projects by South or across any other Emaar project. These layouts are generic. Like for example, one bedroom does not have a attached washroom, it's just a common washroom. This is a common generic layout in any one bedroom in most of the Emaar projects. Likewise, right? Uh, as opposed to the Expo Valley Views, if you look at all the Expo projects, the main unique element in terms of the building, one of the main unique elements is the layouts, the spacious nature. Like Sidar Sky, the one bedrooms were around 980 square feet. That was massive. Expo Valley is slightly smaller than that, but still is big. It's about 850 plus for a one bed, and two beds also very spacious. And the main thing is the floor to ceiling height. It's 3.2 meters in Expo Valley Views versus Terra Gardens. It's around 2.8, 2.9, which is a generic height across Dubai. It's a normal height in Dubai. So this Expo Valley Views, in that sense, it would look a bit luxurious, spacious, and elegant because of the height and because of the views. Now let's go into a comparison of two bedroom and also three bedroom layouts in Terra Gardens as well as Expo Valley Views, and let's understand this a bit in detail. So on the left side you can see two bedroom layout of Terra Gardens. On the right side you are seeing a two bedroom layout of Expo Valley Views, right? There are a few variations, but I've taken a common because it's not much of a difference between the variations, the sizes and everything. It's not much of a difference. So I've just taken two common layouts for comparison purposes. During if interested, of course, during a meeting we can go into much detail about various other aspects as well. Now, if you understand, I have marked a few things that are unique, that I found unique and fascinating in Expo Valley Views, because honestly, to be really honest, Expo City has done a phenomenal job with the layouts of this project. It's very unique. That is what really determines the long-term demand of this project. And in the long run, I'm planning to discuss this in detail later in the video, but for now, this layout is one of the key reasons why in the long run this project is going to have a lot of value in terms of capital gains, much higher than Terra Gardens. Now, if we understand, I've pointed out a few things. Let's start from the sizes. The two bedrooms, 1400 square foot plus. That's the size of a two bedroom of Expo Valley Views versus a two bedroom in Emaar Terra Gardens, 1118, 1120, around that range, right? If you look at the living area, it's 6.65 by 5.25 versus 4.15 by 3.85. So this living area is massive. This is one of the key differences. Living area is a big thing that shows as you enter the apartment, the living area is massive. The floor to ceiling windows are high. Just imagine that elegant feeling that you would get when you enter the apartment. Of course, I'm not saying Terra Gardens, you are not going to get any feeling, but you will. But I mean, you can understand the comparison, the sizes, the sheer size of it. Then go to the kitchen. This is 3.7 by 3.61, which is a semi-open kitchen. This is a kitchen aisle, so it's a semi-open kitchen in that size, and this is a full open kitchen, 3.5 by 2.6. So the kitchen is also massive, very spacious, very beautiful, and followed by living area, which is again very massive and very spacious. So that's something very unique with this two bedroom layouts. If we go into the master bedroom, there were two key things that I highlighted here. Of course, there are more, but for the purpose of the discussion, I highlighted a few things. One thing is the size of the walk-in wardrobe, which is bigger, right? 2.4 by 1.9 versus 1.8 by 1.8 by 1.5. So walk-in wardrobe is bigger. And if you go into the master bathroom also, you have to, like, the master bathroom design is also a bit unique in the sense that not a big difference, but still that shows the attention to detail, right? Two sinks for him and her. In the Terra Gardens, it's just one sink and one master bathroom. I mean, sizes are pretty decent in Terra Gardens. And if you go to the other bedroom, the size is much bigger, 4.3 by 3.2 versus 3.1 by 3.7. And the walk-in wardrobe size is also much bigger than the Terra Gardens. And you have an attached washroom in the other bedroom, right? Plus, you have a separate powder room for the apartment as well. Versus Emaar, you have a common washroom which can be used as visitors washroom as well as for this bedroom, right? And the balcony, it's much bigger, much spacious. It spans across the living area as well as the bedroom in the Expo Valley Views versus a smaller balcony that is only limited to the living area in Terra Gardens. I mean, there are different layouts. This layout, I spotted all these differences, but in various other layouts, this certain difference might not be there. But the overall idea is, when it comes to layouts, Expo Valley Views have done a phenomenally better job compared to Emaar, Terra Gardens. Now let's go to a 3-bedroom layout as well, and let's go through it real quick. Starting from the sizes, this is left side again, you use the Terra Gardens, 1676 square foot versus 1880 to 1900 square foot, 1800 square foot plus for the 3 bedrooms. A few differences that I spotted. In the 3-bedroom, master bedroom, there is an attached washroom, but the other 2 bedrooms share a common washroom in the Expo Valley Views project. Compared to Terra Gardens, one of the 2 bedrooms, they have an attached washroom. The other bedroom has a common washroom which can be used by the visitors as well. But another additional thing in this Expo Valley Views project 3-bedroom is, although this washroom is located outside of the room, there is a separate powder room which can be used by visitors. So visitors are not going to interrupt your privacy. So this washroom is going to be basically unique to this room only, right? One additional thing, this is a major difference. You are having a maid's room with a maid's washroom that comes with the 3-bedroom. So that's a major difference. And again, the living area is also much bigger, spacious compared to the 3-bedroom in the Terra Gardens. So what this means is, obviously these details, these additional aspects make this layout, even the 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and to that matter even the 1-bedroom layout, more appealing for an end user, right? Rather than a short-term tenant or a short tenant. For an end user, for someone willing to live here, own an apartment, these layouts are much more appealing compared to the Terra Gardens layout. Now, one other thing that I would like to highlight here, both the projects are priced at around 2000 dirhams per square foot, right? But just imagine the value you are getting when, let's take this 3-bedroom. You are having an additional maid's room, right? You're having an additional separate, although this bathroom is common, still you have a separate powder room. Mainly you're having an additional maid's room, right? So for someone who wants to live inside Expo City, a family who wants to live inside Expo City but who finds a townhouse or a villa much more expensive, because definitely the prices are going to skyrocket once they are launched, and like let's say 4-5 years down the line, already the prices are high in the Expo Valley townhouses and villas. So someone who finds the prices much higher in a townhouse or villa, their next preference is definitely going to be a 3-bedroom apartment for a family. Obviously, for all practical purposes, this layout is going to be much more appealing. So today's price per square foot for both this project are 2000 dirhams per square foot, but the value that you get is much higher in this layout. That's something that I wanted to highlight, right? So that's a bit about the layouts. So the next aspect is the exclusivity element of it. Now, if you look at Terra Gardens plus Terra Heights, the total number of units is about little over 3000 units within a small land parcel. Versus on the other side, if you look at Expo Valley, the total number of units is 880. To that matter, if you combine Expo Valley plus Sidr plus Al Waha plus Mangrove plus Kai, still the total is not 3000. It is less than 3000 units total within such a large land parcel. So you could imagine the exclusivity of all these projects that Expo City is trying to portray. So particularly Expo Valley Views is also very exclusive. I mean, of course, it has to be exclusive to fit into that profile of Expo Valley, because Expo Valley townhouses and villas are very exclusive, very less numbers, not in thousands, right? So similarly, the apartments are also very exclusive and limited. Low density, G+4 to G+16, 8 buildings. That's it. In a premium villa surrounding, that's the Expo Valley Views is. Terra Gardens, if you look at, as I said, high density, high movement.
good thing is it's right next to the Expo Mall. So that's something very beneficial when it comes to Terra Gardens. So basically Terra Gardens is ideal for short-term rentals only. When you look at these aspects, for long-term rental tenants, they would of course prefer living in Expo Valley Views when that option is already available. Next, we'll talk about the capital appreciation aspect. So for Terra Gardens, if you look at the property would appreciate up to a certain point, and then after that it would be limited. Why have I mentioned unlimited? I mean, it's technically not unlimited. It would be capped, but the capital appreciation would be much higher in Expo Valley because it's as if you are owning an apartment in Emirates Hills. Now, today, if you look at Emirates Hills, there is no price cap, right? When you refurbish and when you make the villa unique or when you do certain amendments because of that location, because the land is limited. So you have villas at 45 million dirhams as well in Emirates Hills. That's the kind of potential Expo Valley carries as a location, because that is a very upscale premium villa community where the apartment also is located. So people definitely will want to own an apartment in this complex in the future. I mean, you looked at the layouts, we understood the exclusivity of the layout. So for that reason, end users will want to own an apartment. That determines appreciation. That pushes appreciation further up. The demand gets higher and higher as and when people start talking about this. Let's say people start visiting, relatives start visiting to your place, they start talking about it. The reputation gets stronger and stronger for the community, right? As and when that happens, this apartment complex would be viewed as a place where people will want to live, people will want to own a piece of it. But then the number of apartments to own would be very limited. As I said, inside Expo City, mostly short term, long-term rental to own and live would be very limited. So in that sense, since it's located in Expo Valley as well, the appreciation is going to be much higher in the long run. As a matter of fact, if you look at Expo Valley, the launches that already happened, the villas and townhouses, Yasmina, Al-Maha, Shamsa, people have, for example, if you look at Yasmina villas, people have already gained an appreciation of 1 to 1.5 million over the past 1.5 years since 2023, right? And investors who flipped the properties recently, as I said, although it's not the best strategy, because the real appreciation is going to be after handover, on handover and afterwards. They have already made a return on equity of around 35 to 45%, right? Already, although that's not the best strategy. So you can understand the potential of this location, that this location carries, that this particular land parcel carries, right? That is where Expo Valley Views is located. Okay, so next, if we go to brand equity aspect, Terra Gardens, Emaar is a strong government-backed mass-scale developer. Last year itself, they launched more than 60 projects. So that is how big they are. They have many master communities. Versus Expo City, they are a government developer. Government itself is overlooking the project, and they are a boutique developer, right? So brand equity-wise, both, you could say it's more or less of a similar weightage, but particularly when it comes to this location and when you compare it with this location community, I think Expo City has a much stronger brand versus Emaar has a much famous brand. So people who know Expo City, they know it, but probably foreigners or people who know Dubai in general, they would know Emaar more than Expo City, right? Now let's see, if we talk about the amenities. Terra Gardens, you have the standard apartment amenities you find in any apartment of Emaar. Multiple sports courts, yoga, gym, pet parks, kids play area, barbecue, jogging track, and lawn area. Actually, they have very beautiful, their buildings are around, and in the middle you have very beautiful, very large lawn area, greenery, park kind of where you have the play areas and everything. So the units that are overlooking that area, they would have a nice view actually, and you have a big jogging track as well inside. And next to it, of course, you have the mall, which is technically connected to these communities. You just get out of the apartment, you get into the mall. So that also can be added into as an amenity because it's right next to the mall, right? You have access to the mall, which is a very good thing. On the other side, if you go to Expo Valley Views, you again have the standard apartment amenities, plus a few exclusive amenities like a 4+ kilometer horse trail, which you have access to if you are a resident in the apartment, a peacock aviary, a butterfly garden, duck pond, community plaza and cafes, because it's located on the other side where there is no mall close by. You have to take a e-scooter, a buggy, or you have to drive to the Emaar mall. So for that reason, you have cafes where you can meet people. You have supermarkets and everything on the ground floor, right? So basically, you don't have to get out of the apartment on a daily basis, on a regular basis, to your day-to-day needs, to shopping or anything. You have everything in the apartment complex itself. And then there is a very interesting thing that would positively affect Expo Valley Views. It's going to be the proposed transportation loop the developer has suggested. This is something that came very recently, right? Let's look at that. So this is where the Expo Valley Views is, you could see. And if you could understand, you have 3 lines. These are electric transport modes. So there are already confirmed 3 lines: yellow line, blue line, and purple line. And there is a potential future orange line as well, right? Now, purple line is what goes across around the Expo Valley area, right? Which gives access to the transport for people in Expo Valley and Expo Valley Views as well. There are 2 parks, there are 2 stops right here, right? So this purple line, if you understand, I'm talking about the purple line because that's what matters to this project. It goes all across the Expo Valley, and then it goes around the community, and it directly connects to the Dubai exhibitions. This is where the last stop is for the purple line, right? This is where the last stop is. And it also connects to the other lines as well, right? If you want to go around the community. So that's something very beneficial, right? So this would actually ensure some short-term rentals as well. Mostly it's going to be long-term rentals, but if you want short-term rentals, then I think there is going to be some potential for short-term rentals as well, if at all, if you are considering. But primarily this is for long-term rental, right? So this is something that's very unique and advantageous. And generally speaking, there are 2 proposed bus networks as well by the RTA, right? That will basically going around the community and within the community, right? So these are some future plans which will be happening over the next 3-4 years as well, which will be ready once the community matures, right? And as part of transport modes, you have taxi buggies, e-bikes, e-scooters to go to and from the Expo Valley, right? When it comes to Terra Gardens and Terra Heights, it's located here. So it's when you come into the community, you can access these transport networks. But if you are next to the mall, you can directly drive here, so you can just get access to other parts of Dubai through the road network, as well as if you come in, you can get into the transportation network as well, right? So that's something that's also beneficial. So yes, these are some of the aspects that I wanted to highlight, that I wanted to discuss in today's video, to show you, to compare and contrast between these 2 projects. So what are my conclusions? Well, if your primary focus is just short-term rentals and maybe flip it after, let's say, after some time, then I guess Terra Gardens would be an ideal option for you. But if you are an investor who wants to hold the property for some time, who wants to see the value in it, then I think Expo Valley Views is definitely the option that you need to consider, right? Now, if you talk about the rental ROIs, if you compare the rental ROIs, Terra Gardens, you are talking about around 15-16% because it's going to be short-term rentals. Expo Valley Views, since it's predominantly going to be long-term rentals, we are talking about 9-10% of a rental ROI, right? Hence, for a start, at handover, after handover for 1 or 2, 3 years, Terra Gardens is going to give you high returns. Later on, the long-term rentals ROI would get higher and higher for Expo Valley Views as and when the community gets matured and when it gets more and more recognition, right? But if you talk about, let's say, a 7 to 10 year timeline, and if you look at the overall returns, then I think Expo Valley Views is a winner because it's going to hold a lot of value when it comes to the price per square foot aspect, considering all the benefits that we spoke about, the uniqueness of the layout and all the things that we spoke about, that we compared how exclusive the Expo Valley community is and how people will want to own a piece of Expo Valley at a later point. Considering all this, I think price per square foot wise, Expo Valley Views is always going to be significantly higher than Terra Gardens when you compare these 2 projects in a long-term aspect, right? And long-term, the rental ROI also would increase because the demand would increase, right? So for these reasons, I think if you are a long-term investor, then I believe Expo Valley Views is your go-to option. That is what you should be choosing, comparing these two. If it's a bit of a short-term objective, then Terra Gardens is something that you could look at, right? So these are my conclusions. This is what I think and feel about these projects. So that was a bit about today's video, about the comparison, about the analysis. Hope you liked it. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and like my video. That would mean a lot to me. I would be able to reach more and more potential interested people just like you through this channel. And if you are interested in an investment, please do get in touch. Let's talk, let's discuss. And with that being said, signing off until next time.